Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow, I am really kind of in shock right now because it really is starting to look like Elon Musk is really going to buy Twitter. So, how's Elon Musk going to pull it off? Why does why does this affect you? If you're black, you probably use Twitter. If you're not black, you probably use Twitter. So this is a big deal. So I'm going to break down some of what I've been seeing over the weekend. A lot of developments on the Elon Musk bid to buy Twitter. I'm going to break all this down for you. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about black wealth and black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that we are black first, and we're not apologizing for it. That means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. That means that we are closing the racial wealth gap, not just talking about it. It also means that we are educating our kids and preparing them to compete in the future. If you are down with the B1 philosophy, if you're down with all these ideas that I just stated, put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. I want to say hello, Charles. I see you in there first, and also hello to everybody on Instagram. So give me a yes or no. I want to ask you all a basic question, Shelton. How many of you use Twitter? Give me a yes in the chat if you use Twitter, say more than once a week. How many of y'all use Twitter more than once a week, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, twice a day, 10 times a day, 5 times a day? How many of y'all use Twitter at least a little bit? How many of y'all maybe you're in black Twitter? Maybe you use Twitter to get information and news. You share information and news on Twitter. You share your opinions and your perspectives on Twitter. Give me a yes if you use Twitter. Okay, so Timothy says, I don't just use it. I'm also a shareholder. Okay, well, good for you. Well, let me just tell you, Timothy's been making money. Let me tell you why Timothy's making money. Twitter stock has been going up this week. The reason Twitter stock has been going up is because there's now new evidence to say that Elon Musk is he's about to make that move. He is about to really try to really own this thing, which is just a beastly endeavor. It's going to be hard. It's a little bit crazy, but it's doable, right? It's not like it's out of the question. But I'll show you guys Twitter stock. And the stock market talks to you. In case you guys don't know, the stock market talks to you. Now, if you're on Instagram, you can't see this. You can go to the blackfinancialchannel.com, click the link in the bio. You can see the screen, but it's okay. I can describe it to you. So don't worry. I'm going to tell you everything that's on here. All right. So basically, if you look at Twitter stock for the last month, you see that it's when green is good, basically. So when it's green, that's good. You see that big jump right there where the stock just suddenly jumps up. That's about when Musk started talking about owning Twitter. That was a big deal. Now here's the deal. His bid was, I think, $54.20 per share. The stock at that time was trading at about $39 a share, and so the stock didn't go all the way up to $54 a share. That's because the market didn't really believe him. If the market had believed him, then the stock would have gone a little bit higher. So you saw it kind of dip, go up and down, up and down. Volatility is there's a lot of speculation. Now this morning, you saw another move in the stock over the weekend. And the reason that you saw this upward move over the weekend is because Elon Musk, from what I've been reading, has actually obtained financing to own Twitter. That's a big deal. That means he's going to own your account, your Twitter account. He's going to get to control that. Why is that a big deal? Well, because from a lot of what I've been reading, Elon Musk, one thing that Elon and I have in common, it seems, is that we both believe in free speech. And that's why I respect the idea of him owning Twitter. I've always mentioned to you guys, and maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but I've always said be really careful about trying to censor people. Like I know there's some people who say that if you say the N word, you should be censored. Well, if that's the case, then you need to go talk to Apple and Spotify and all these other companies, record labels that are putting out music that are referring to black people as the N word in every other lyric. That's another conversation. But even beyond that, when you go down that rabbit hole of having groups that feel like they have the right to decide what other groups are allowed to say, that's always going to flip back on you. In fact, how many of you have ever been banned, put in Facebook jail? Anybody in here been in Facebook jail? I'm like an 8-time felon when it comes to Facebook jail. I'm always in Facebook jail. I'm always getting a YouTube channel banned for a little while or whatever. I'm, always dealing with stuff on Twitter. I think just the other day I got some weird notification from Twitter where I was in trouble with them. And it's kind of irritating, right? So Elon Musk is a guy who seems to want to own Twitter for reasons that go outside of the money. I don't think this is a great financial decision on the part of Elon Musk, to be honest with you. I really don't. But what I really see, though, is Elon Musk appears to be a guy who kind of does the same thing with $250 billion that I would probably do. Most of us who are smart with monies and money and numbers, we realize how big that number is. $275 billion. Good Lord Jesus. You only need half one. You can one fourth of one of those, just one of those billions of dollars is a quarter of a mil is $250 million. You can live great off that. So the rest of it, the other 274.75 billion, is like a playground. A playground to go change the world. You can go out and do all kinds of stuff and make the world a better place. I mean, my God, I would be out building schools and adopting cities and trying to feed as many people as possible. I mean, so I like the fact that Elon just looked at Twitter and said, you know what, screw you. You're running your company badly. You're impacting the world in a negative way. I'm going to come in and I'm going to fix it. I respect that immensely. In fact, Jack Dorsey, who is one of the co-founders of Twitter, seems to have supported Musk. Dorsey's another big shareholder in Twitter. Up until Musk made his move, I think he was either the largest or one of the largest shareholders in the company. He supported Musk's bid to own Twitter. So from a financial standpoint, this move is probably, in my view, better for Twitter than it is for Musk. I think that Twitter benefits a lot. Musk does not. If you look at the price of Tesla stock, remember the stock market talks to you. I'm gonna pull Tesla stock up. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you want to join the One Africa Unity Summit or the I Am a March event down in Georgia that's happening this upcoming weekend, just go to boycewatkins.com. If you're on Instagram, hit the link in the bio, and you can get passes. I think the One Africa Unity Summit has virtual passes, and Dr. Malena Karanga, Professor James Small, a lot of other great Black Scott, Scheherazade Ali, just a lot of great people, Rizza Islam. My wife, Dr. Alicia, will be there also. So if you want to be a part of that, just go to boycewatkins.com. I'll put the passes on my page, as well as just all the events, the Chicago event we have coming up, Charlotte. We have a few other places we're going to be. All right, so let's look at Twitter stock. Not Twitter, I'm sorry, not Twitter. Tesla. Let's look at Tesla. See all the T's, all these companies that start with the letter T. Just get me mixed up. Let me feel like I'm on the electric company. Remember that show, The Electric Company? All right. So anyway, So here is Tesla stock. You see Tesla stock dropped by 1.5% today. And that's also more confirmation that the market is starting to believe that Musk is going to take over Twitter. So why would it stop? Why would this price drop as a result of this news? Well, it went down because people think that Elon Musk is going to spread himself too thin. They already feel that he's spreading himself thin by running SpaceX and Tesla at the same time, and the Boring Company and whatever else he's got going on in his life. So they kind of like, oh, you're going to run Twitter too? How the hell is that going to work? So I think that makes sense. I think that he might be stretching himself a little bit. I think also the regulators are probably going to pay a close attention to what happens here. But with Musk getting financing to make this bid, that suddenly adds a level of seriousness that wasn't there before. I didn't take the bid seriously when I first heard it. I thought that he was kind of, blustering. Remember, I told you he was Donald Diddy a little bit. He's Donald Trump and Diddy. They one thing that they do is they like to talk a lot because they know everybody's always listening to them. So they'll talk about things they're going to do and not actually do anything. Trump did that, when he talked about, I can blow North Korea off the map. And man, you ain't blowing nothing off the map, right? Same thing with Diddy. If you notice, pay close attention. Diddy's made major announcements like he's going to buy the Carolina Panthers. Give me a yes or no. Does Diddy own the Carolina Panthers? Did he buy even 1% of the Carolina Panthers? Did that even happen? Was there any prolonged set of negotiations where he was really trying to make a move to buy the Carolina Panthers? Or did he just say it on Twitter? You see, so a lot of people, Twitter and social media, big platforms, allows people to write checks that they never cash. So ultimately, I thought Musk was doing the same thing. I thought he was being blustery. I thought he was just running his mouth. And I'll be damned if he's not actually trying to go make a move and buy Twitter. I think it could be beneficial in terms of impacting humanity and preparing for that trip to Mars. Remember, Elon Musk claims that that's his big thing. That's his big vision. He's building all these rocket ships so eventually he can get to Mars, and it'd be nice to own Twitter while you're going to Mars, and you can tweet constantly about your trip, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. In terms of other things going on in the stock market, before I do that, actually, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Just a reminder, yesterday I mentioned a stock that I like. I mentioned Carvana. I'm actually buying some shares of Carvana today. So feel free to just take note of that. I'm not telling you to go buy it. This is not investing advice, but I am buying shares of Carvana because I like the stock. Also, Right now with your market, you're just in you're kind of in an ugly market right now because you've got a Fed that has inflated things out of control. What's interesting is that the inflation numbers that you see are not the real are the real serious inflation numbers. Like you kind of see the flare up, but you're not really seeing the real virus, the real illness that's really happening with all of this. The real inflation, the biggest inflation that I've seen is actually not the inflation that you see with the price of gas and the price of food. The biggest inflation has actually been in what they call asset inflation. Asset inflation is where the value of assets like houses and stocks goes way up because the Fed has made money so cheap lately. They've just been devaluing the currency so much. And actually, they said that a lot of people think that they've gotten rich over the last, say, 15, 20 years. But actually, that's because your investments are denominated in dollars. But they said if you denominate it in gold, you've actually gotten poorer. That you literally have seen a decline in the real value of these assets. So ultimately, this Fed is right now they're claiming they're going to raise interest rates and slow the economy down and deal with the inflation thing. I heard an expert this morning, I don't have his name in front of me, who kind of feels that the Fed is going to back down. I've heard more than one expert say that they don't think the Fed is really going to go through with all these rate hikes. They said they pointed out the Bank of Japan back in 2007 said the same thing. Oh, we got to increase interest rates because we got to do this and do that. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. They kept buying back bonds. They kept lowering interest rates. They kept devaluing their currency just like they did before. So in a way, it's like that relationship where you know that it's toxic, you know that it's bad, you know you need to get out, and and then you pack your bags and you tell your significant other, I'm sorry, it's over, I'm leaving. And then they look at you like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere, but you just gonna go in the kitchen and make you a peanut butter sandwich because you've been sitting here for 8 years, and I know you ain't going nowhere anytime soon, right? So ultimately, breaking old habits is very difficult. So the habit that we have with this economy is that it's politically expedient for them to continuously inflate things. I saw a video the other day that was really interesting where they talked about Billionaires Row, this place in New York where they have all these really expensive, 50, $100 million apartments. They said half of Billionaires Row is empty. They said it's totally empty. And I was like, wow, all these $80 million apartments, they're ugly as hell. They're in these little skinny buildings. Who wants to live in a skinny building? I mean, my God, a tornado comes through it. I wouldn't feel comfortable in a little tiny skinny building built like a stick. But apparently that's the trend in New York. And you know how trends work. When some people think it's cool, everybody wants to do it just because everybody else is doing it. Well, Billionaires Row, they said a lot of these spaces are empty because either one, they haven't sold them yet, or two, people just buy them, they just hold them, and they say, well, some sucker will come along and buy it for more than what I paid for it. And so that's what you call a speculative bubble. And so a speculative bubble is when everybody's just buying crap, Dogecoin on down, just because they think there's a bigger fool, there's a bigger sucker. NFTs, that's another speculative bubble in the eyes of some. And so ultimately, just be ready because bubbles do eventually burst. So when this bubble bursts, it's going to be a lot of pain to go around, a lot of people getting their butt kicked, and I don't want that to happen to you. So just be really cautious. Don't get too carried away and keep being smart. All right. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, just in case you don't know, if you go to blackmoney101.com, if you're looking for an introduction to the power of money in terms of understanding how money works, and understanding how the rules of economic self-defense and some other curricula that I put together specifically for Black folks. I only think about Black people every day. I'm not really doing this for the world. I'm doing this for you. I spent 13 years at Syracuse University, and now I want to teach my people. So I put together a really awesome curriculum at blackmoney101.com, which will make you a master investor. It will make you a master economic thinker. You will then transform into somebody who can explain economics to your family. So if you are interested in learning the fundamentals of money, how money works, why money matters, and hear from a Dr. Boyce perspective. I like to apply my doctorate in ways that are creative in terms of understanding money and how it impacts our lives. So if you are interested in taking a look at that curriculum, feel free to go to blackmoney101.com and you can bring your whole family. I think you guys are going to like it. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. Love you. I'll see you soon. Take care. Put the link in the chat. I can't put it in the chat because my thumbs are too big and fat. So just if you type blackmoney101.com, that's how you can get there. So I would type it in the chat, but it's the phone, and if I do that, y'all gonna lose me because I'm gonna end up dropping the phone, and my nostrils will be in the camera, and it'll look kind of crazy. So yeah, Black Money. Thank you so much, blackmoney101.com. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. All right, guys, have a good day. Love you, and I'll be back probably later on today as I see further developments in the market. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Love you. See you soon. Take care now. Peace.